Hello, I'm Shruti Rajagopalan.
And I'm Matt Bentley. This is SpokeTV, your source for weekly local news produced by second-year journalism broadcast students from Conestoga College.
Some Guelph residents are concerned about Hydro One's plan to clear-cut a forested area behind their homes for power lines. SpokeTV's Jacob Martin speaks with some of the homeowners affected to find out more.
30 years ago, Hydro One in Guelph cut down a large amount of trees in fear of them hitting power lines. Since then, the trees have grown back and it's time to do it again, but residents aren't happy. The company gave 3 weeks notice before they were going to come in and haul the trees away, and since then have given an additional 3 weeks time for the city and its residents affected to think of something else that could be done. But with the cost of trimming the trees being essentially the same as clear cutting them, it really doesn't seem cost effective to do so.
Well, I think they could trim it like they normally do. But they want to take everything down and put grass, and so the majority of people is not happy about it.
I'm here in Guelph at the area affected by the Hydro One tree cutting issue. A lot of residents in the area are very unhappy with what's going on and are anxiously awaiting an alternative.
Even though the city deemed this site a naturalized area, it really doesn't mean anything in terms of keeping the forested area there. It just means that Hydro One needs approval from the city and almost always gets it, except this time. Nobody seems to want this to happen in their backyard. A local resident, Tom Bott, is directly affected by this as his property backs onto the area. He is very concerned about what could happen to his privacy he paid so much for.
It's one of these catch-22s. They say they need to clear cut it for safety, but at the same time, they put hydro towers in the middle of the forest when they need to get hydro through there. So we're trying to work with hydro anyway. We're trying to get some kind of a compromise going.
Only time will tell if Hydro One will hold off on cutting these trees down, but until then, residents will be thinking hard and hoping for a solution. For SpokeTV, I'm Jacob Martin.
The KW Humane Society is offering a way to allow young people to get a preview of a career in the veterinary field. SpokeTV's Natalie McCallum has the details on just what this program offers to aspiring veterinarians.
What if there was a way of getting the actual hands-on experience you need in your future career field? The Humane Society of Kitchener-Waterloo has begun a new program called Vets in Training. The program costs approximately $300 and includes their equipment, handbooks, and scrubs. Dr. Lisa Jones, a local vet and the program instructor, says it's also about teaching kids the signs of a healthy pet.
The program itself is for 10 to 14-year-olds, and we run a 6-week program that's focused on not only veterinary care, like what we do as veterinarians, but also just animal handling in general for younger kids. A lot of animals are given up for behavioral reasons, and a lot of them have to do with children. So I think it's great, get them involved at a young age, let them know what's good, what's bad, and how to interact with animals properly. So we're kind of stressing not only the veterinary side of things, vaccines, healthcare, that kind of thing, but also the handling and how to interpret behavior and what animals are good animals for children.
The students will not complete procedures on live animals, but will learn surgical techniques and suturing on foam.
Well, I'm excited for this program because almost every time we get to work with the animals, I love animals. I always have.
The Kitchener-Waterloo Humane Society has now begun their sessions, today being the very first one. The next 4 sessions are booked solid with 17 people now sitting on the wait list. Come February, they plan to open up more sessions for kids ages 9 to 14 and then a second session for older children.
Currently, all the sessions are booked with just females, with veterinary medicine being a very woman-dominated field. Either way, this is an experience children would not get until actually entering school to become a vet. For SpokeTV, I'm Natalie McCallum.
People may start rethinking their breakfast options if they are big bacon or ham eaters. The World Health Organization recently announced processed meat and red meat can increase the risk of colon cancer. While doctors have long warned against eating too much meat, the WHO's cancer agency gave the most definite response and put processed meat in the same danger category as smoking and asbestos. France-based International Agency for Research on Cancer classified red meats, which includes beef, lamb, and pork, as probable carcinogen. Studies show that consumption of 50 grams of processed meat per day increases colon cancer risk by about 18%.
A new form of the flu vaccine is being introduced to Canadians. This alternative, intended for children, is a painless option compared to getting a needle. SpokeTV's Megan Spotswood has more on just what this new vaccine is.
It's that time of year again, flu season, and no matter what age you are, it is important to get vaccinated. The flu shot is a vital part of making sure you stay healthy throughout the winter season. This year, there is an alternative to receiving the vaccination in the form of a nasal spray. There are several locations in the region of Waterloo where you can get immunized, such as the local Boardwalk Medical Center and the Rexall Drugstore on Highland Road. Pharmacy manager at Rexall, Ken Manson, gives more information for those who are new to its use.
So the nasal spray is known as FluMist, and it's for anybody between the ages of 2 and 17. Ideally, it's reserved for, hopefully, the group between 2 and 5 years old, where it's the most effective. It's what's called quadrivalent, so quad meaning 4. There's 4 different strains of virus that are attached to the main protein, whereas the one that the adults are getting would be trivalent, so just the 3.
Local mother Paula Downey says that the nasal spray is a smart choice for young children who don't enjoy the prick of a needle.
It's a little less intensive for the child rather than getting another needle. A little less painful.
After you receive the vaccination, it is important to take precautions such as washing your hands frequently and covering your coughs and sneezes to prevent spreading infection to others. Remember, we must all help each other this winter season. For SpokeTV, I'm Megan Spotswood.
With the Liberal Party elected, looks like the use of marijuana for medical purpose will no longer be a topic of debate. SpokeTV's Amanda Hewson reports on the new medical marijuana clinics opened in the Waterloo region.
In the past, marijuana has been viewed as a recreational drug. However, few people know that doctors are able to prescribe medicinal marijuana to help with chronic pain and anxiety. With approximately 23 different cannabis corporations in Canada, it's obvious it's an up-and-coming investment field. Sheila Trask, an interested investor in the field, feels that the marijuana industry now has more potential.
I feel like the recent Liberal victory is a sign of things that are changing, a time where the stigma surrounding marijuana use is going to be put to the wayside. So 15 years ago, could you consider legalizing marijuana and having it as a business? Not so, but for today, in the present, I feel that it's a good opportunity.
The medical industry is working with the changing views of marijuana by opening cannabis clinics around the country.
I'm here at the Cannabis Clinic in Kitchener, one of few in the region of Waterloo. In the past, marijuana has been frowned upon, but it seems times are changing as Guelph has just opened its own cannabis clinic.
The amount of dispensaries and paraphernalia shops opening to cater to patients is seen as a positive sign by Dwight DeRoca. Unfortunately, he was uncomfortable being on camera, but he had this to say in an interview.
Laws are changing, they're going to change, and it's a great business opportunity, and it helps people in the area.
With the election of Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister and his platform on legalizing marijuana, it will be interesting to see how many more people will become patients of medicinal marijuana. For SpokeTV, I'm Amanda Hewson.
Many kids have trouble trick-or-treating on Halloween due to allergies. A program that started during the Halloween season of 2014 aims to assist kids with that. SpokeTV's Caleb Herbison investigates what this initiative is all about.
This year, orange may not have been the only color pumpkin to be seen on Halloween. A new trend has crept into Canada, which has many parents painting their pumpkins teal for a good cause.
The Teal Pumpkin Project was founded last year in the United States by a woman who wanted to give children an allergy-free way to enjoy Halloween.
When a teal pumpkin or a sign is displayed outside a house, it signifies that the family is giving out an alternative to candy for children with allergies. Jacqueline Ernst explains how this trend has helped her and her daughter.
So my daughter Aurora has an autoimmune disease called eosinophilic esophagitis. It means that she has an anaphylactic-like reaction to soy, wheat, egg, fish, dairy, corn, strawberries, melon. So pretty much any candy she can have. So the teal pumpkin is just a natural thought process for us because it's something she can do.
Jen Sukta gives us some examples of alternatives that can be given out to children instead of candy.
We are giving out raisins and pencils and notebooks and also some fruit to go. So we have some kind of healthy snacks and then some non-food snacks as well.
With well over 300 houses registered to use teal pumpkins in just the United States alone, this trend is only rising and it looks like teal is the new orange. For SpokeTV, I'm Caleb Herbison.
The costumes are put away and it's time to eat the candies. SpokeTV's Lindsay Griesbach reports on the various ways the region celebrated Halloween.
Kitchener-Waterloo survived another Halloween this past Saturday, and there were no shortages of ways to celebrate. With the spooky holiday becoming more and more for adults just as much as for children, Waterloo Region offered a range of scary events. Snyder's Family Farm hosted its annual Fear Farm and Haunted Hayride in Bright, Ontario. Bingham and Scream Park hosted its Haunted House and Zombie Run, and many nightclubs and post-secondary schools hosted Halloween dances. Conestoga College was no exception, and many students came out to its Halloween pub night on Thursday in the sanctuary. One lesser-known yearly event, Kitchener-Waterloo Little Theatre's 5th annual Haunted House, was not for the weak-hearted.
I just went through the Minotaur maze, and I had to feed the Minotaur, and I was told not to let the Minotaur out, but then we had to go through the cage in order to get out, and then it started attacking us. My pulse rate is a bit up right now.
Every Halloween, KWLT transforms its tiny box theater into an elaborate haunted house filled with horrors and costumed actors raising money for the theater, which is run entirely by volunteers. This year's donations will go towards upgrades to the theater's lobby and concession area. This year's theme, Labyrinth of Terror, featured a minotaur among its other horrors and a kid-friendly version of the maze prior to 9 p.m.
It is a great little opportunity to just have a fun night out. The whole tour itself takes maybe 5-10 minutes. Coloring in the lobby is actually a really big popular thing for people. And it's just a great way to get close to your friends as you grab them for dear life.
The Haunted House is pay what you can and aims to give patrons a fun time and get them more interested and involved in their local community theater. Just one more option locals may add to their event calendars for next year's Halloween. For SpokeTV, I'm Lindsay Griesbach.
Conestoga men's rugby team hosted a playoff game for the first time in 5 years as they faced off against the St. Lawrence Vikings at University Stadium in Waterloo. The Condors and the Vikings faced off in a battle of grit and determination as the crowd was eager for an exciting playoff game. While the Condors got off to an early lead, the Vikings chipped away to make it 14-10. After that, the Condors came back to gain a 20-14 lead by the end of the first half by scoring 2 consecutive tries. That lead they gained in the first half would be one they wouldn't give up as the Condors continued on to win the game 39-19. With this victory, the Condors go on to the semifinals to play the Trent Excalibur from Oshawa.
The Toronto Blue Jays' winning streak this year did not only benefit their fans, it generated a lot more income for sports bars across the province. The increase of fans in local bars made for more business than usual. SpokeTV's Kyle Royakers reports on the profit made during the games.
The Toronto Blue Jays had their first shot at the playoffs in 22 years this October. Having a bit of a slow start, the Jays were pulling no punches by September.
Playoffs are usually a home run for sports bars, but this year was iconic because of the Jays' streak in Texas. Sports bars were packed shoulder to shoulder with fans pouring out their support.
Kitchener has many sports bars, from Jack Astor's to Krabby Joe's to the Rapid Fox, but it still may have been tough to find a seat during the Jays games. When events happen, bars usually put together specials to keep their regulars happy and draw in new people. Tyler Robinson, a manager at the Rapid Fox in the Dune Pioneer Park Plaza, talks about what they offered.
So for the first round, we did a pizza with a mini pitcher for $15, and then for the second round, we did chili cheese dogs with a mini pitcher for $15. So we sold a lot of those. That was pretty much all we sold during the games.
The games were tense and the fans were filled with emotion. Robinson is a big Jays fan, and he talks about what his favorite moment was.
Batist's home run. That's the most iconic moment in Jays history for the last 22 years. So Canadian baseball, it's big.
The Jays had a great run, but were finally knocked out by the Royals in Game 6. And later on Sunday, the 1st of November, the Royals took the World Series. For SpokeTV, I'm Kyle Royakers.
That's all we have for you this week, and thanks for watching SpokeTV. I am Matt Bentley.
And I am Shruti Rajagopalan. For more news and information, check us online at spoketv.ca or follow us on Twitter.